there. I'd be surprised if that's changed, but informational piece right there.
All right. There's some more to come on that. We'll dig into it and see what we find. Let's see. Next item is approve new fire department members. Does somebody have the forms?
I do. We have 3 new members. I would like to make a motion that we accept to Awaga Ladder Company number 5, junior firefighter Evan Bidwell.
Another Bidwell.
Cannot have too many Bidwells.
It's good because they're all over.
So who seconded that?
I'll second it.
Charles.
Vote, Fran?
Yes.
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
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 And yes.
Another new member proposal from Croton Hose Company number 3, Caleb Manel. I move that we accept him as a member of the Croton Hose Company 3 and the fire department.
Okay.
I second that.
Yes.
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 And yes.
And third, Croton Hose Company number 3, Jessica Morris. I move that we accept her as a member of Croton Hose Company 3 and the Wego Fire Department.
I also second that.
Fran?
Yes.
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 Rusty?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes.
She related to Jim Morris?
Yeah, it's his wife, right?
That's right. Not a
Our
word.
next item is allocate CDBG money for building repair. Rodney, you want to talk about that
Before the end of the year, we have to spend some money from the CDBG. And they're so restrictive on what we can do with our own money. We've come up with one project, and that would be to repair the back of the 90 Temple Street. The whole back is the ramp is shot and the whole decking and everything. So we've got some estimates out there. Scow and I think we've got some coming in from Sarah Canyon, and I think we got some other people.
Okay.
So it's probably $25,000-$30,000 to do the whole project, but that's, it has to be torn off and then kind of redone again, folks.
We have $27,000,
We have about
right?
$27,000 we can use, so it should go that fast.
Yeah.
But like I say, right now the ramp is like unusable, right?
Yeah, it's wooden.
Yeah, it's pretty rough shape.
Yeah, so I gave you guys a copy of one of the proposals that I had. So what we basically need tonight is a motion to go ahead with a project to do this repair, and then
We have to-
we'll pick somebody.
I talked to these guys for like an hour. We have to commit to spending the money on an appropriate project.
Right.
An appropriate project constitutes a lot of things. One of the easiest things, low-hanging fruit for the village, is we can use it on accessibility project, like the ramp, handicap accessibility kind of stuff.
Sonny, do we have other places that we want to use this?
Well, we don't have enough money. I also had them look at our office, but since we're moving sometime in the next 5 or 10 years, no sense spending that kind of money. We spent $500 last year, so we're good, right?
Right.
Yeah, we're good.
Just asking if this is
So
the best way to spend it.
the best investment would be 90 Temple Street, since we seem to be keeping it at the moment, so, yeah.
Jeff, did you have someplace that you
Yeah, ramp or
thought we should use this for?
maybe the
Is this the same money that was gonna do my concrete work?
I don't. It could only be used for like.
For handicap or...
I didn't ask that.
It was.
I tried to find a bill, right?
Yeah. I was gonna use it on the roads, remember, they wouldn't let us use it on the roads. They will let us use it for a handicap ramp for the public.
That's true. The chief had asked us to do this, and
Yes.
and if we have the money, which we may not have to pave his back lot, so.
Yeah, he did bring up a concern, is that ramp. It is in pretty rough shape,
Yeah, it is.
more or less. I don't want to say unsafe, but it's not in good shape.
If you use it, you will become handicapped.
It's a possibility. So do we have a motion to spend this money?
You want a motion to allocate for the project towards spending this money, I guess, right?
Right, we have to commit that we're gonna do a project.
The project would be to repair the back of 90 Temple Street to make it a handicap accessible.
I'll motion that we do that.
There's what, 27,000? So you want something like, not to exceed?
Yeah, not to exceed it, well, I'll put it in, it's 27 something.
Yeah, there's an exact number.
I'll put it in, 27.
Not to exceed 28, then.
28, okay.
Probably handle some change.
Door.
Alright.
It says 190 Temple Street.
That's-
We've
It should be
correct that
90, it should be
tonight.
90.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, we'll do
You on
190.
that?
I own
190?
I own one, right? Just 90 Temple.
I mean, this motion is not even to vote on the contractor, and it's just that we're gonna do the project.
We're gonna do the project, spend the money, and then we'll find more details on it.
Out of the CD.
CDBG.
Yeah, what Rod said.
It's in the community development website.
So do we have a vote, Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes.
Thank you.
That's what's losing money at these meetings.
Sorry.
Gotta come from somewhere.
No, it.
We tried for you, though. Pretty hard. All right, our next item is pick an engineering firm for the disinfection project. I'll let Tracy talk about this.
After the presentations and reviewing the packets that they left, I would recommend that we pick Hunt Engineering. Price tag was a fair amount less, and in their presentation, they really put quite an emphasis on the grants and such. So all the grant money we can get by all means better. So I would recommend that we go with Hunt for the disinfection project.
Rusty?
And we have a long history of using Hunt for various things.
Correct.
There's somebody we know and have done many things with.
Not that we haven't used VCA,
Yes,
we're obviously
correct.
using them for $15 million worth of work at the same plant. But to me, they're both going to complete the project while using the same access road. Which saves us a lot of money. So I'm glad we investigated this now. And Hunt A is a little bit cheaper. And B, they really, I mean, that was a lot of their proposal was the grants. They've already helped us since we are on contract with them as an engineering firm in general. For the wastewater treatment plant, they've helped us already get $1 million worth of grants towards this project. And we're going after $1 million more.
If I can just point out a few other things, and of course, this doesn't mean that we're absolutely gonna be able to dovetail these two projects together. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that has to get worked out, but at least picking a firm now to begin the design and really start pushing through with those discussions about how do we make this work together. What you picking a firm tonight allows that, at least.
Obviously, it's a proposal, they can change.
And then, Mayor, we don't have a contract yet in place, obviously, so we
Right.
need to actually negotiate the specific terms of a contract, but at this point, I think the board's action would be to authorize the mayor to enter into negotiations with Hunt Engineering regarding recommending them as the firm for the disinfection project.
Yes.
I'm wishing to authorize the mayor to look into the Hunt firm on Tracy's recommendation that we use Hunt for the disinfection project.
Okay.
I would second that.
Okay. Any discussion about that amongst the board? We discussed that enough. Fran?
Jeffy.
No.
He just always wants to vote.
Oh, just, okay. Yes.
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 And yes.
It's Jeff Moore. Trustee Jeff.
Yeah, it
I've
is.
been trying to vote for 25 years, and nobody likes me doing that.
Well, elections are coming up tomorrow. right.
I'll let you vote.
Next item is set up public hearing on EDU Appendix A categories. Turn that over to you two.
We need to set up a public hearing so we can, we're looking to add some categories to the Appendix A, and so we'd like to set that up for the next board meeting.
So Appendix A is where we list out all the different types of things. Residential, apartments, restaurant, laundromat, and how many EDUs they get.
So, Mayor, the only comment I would have on that is, I think we need a local law to modify the appendix, or no? Is that just done by resolution? I'm just going off of memory here.
Nate, we were looking at the code for that, and we believe that it can be done by village resolution with a public hearing.
Okay. So, I mean, we can certainly schedule a public hearing on anything. I just wanted to...
Do you have the information? Because I can put the information out there, right? Well, a public hearing, but we obviously want the public to have
We
what
can
we're gonna,
get that here.
right? You know, the changes we're gonna make prior to the public hearing.
So what's the date on that?
We're gonna do a next meeting?
Well, next meeting is also your
It's
annual.
also the annual meeting, so maybe we do it the second meeting in April?
We did kind of want to get that going.
Yeah, I won't be here then.
He's gonna be in the grand chambers.
We did want, we've been putting that off, and we did want to get that in place because of some
So maybe we do it the next meeting?
businesses that are opening and changing.
Bring a pillow.
What's the 15th?
It's the first, April 1st, April Fool's Day.
Mayor, I'm comfortable saying, Mayor, I agree with Rusty and Tracy, yes, it's by resolution, it needs a public hearing on 5 days.
5 days notice.
Minimum 5 days notice.
We got that.
So we gotta put it in the paper, but what type of time? It can't be 7 o'clock, because that's our regular meeting, so.
Well, when's our annual? Our annual meeting is 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, yeah, so it's just after that sometime.
How long does that take, right?
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes, so 7:30, if you did 7:30.
I would recommend that you just schedule the public hearing for 7:05, and then it'll start once you're finished with the reorganizational meeting.
Okay.
7:05, okay. As long as you don't, okay.
And I think we moved
There's
the
another public hearing that night.
other
too,
public hearing to that same night, so.
Of the zoning.
Okay, then that's right, we got the
So make one
MJ.
7:05 and one 7:10.
Okay. But we need I guess we need a motion on this whole thing, public hearing.
Ron?
I motion that we have a public hearing on April 1st to talk about the EDUs and the changes that are forthcoming.
Okay.
I'll second that.
And a vote. Fran?
Yes.
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
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 And yes. Alright, next item is approve the minutes of 3:4 and 3:12. I found a typo in the 3:4 minutes.
Okay, what is it?
It's on the very last page. And it's under the public comments section. It says Mike Duvarney said that did Tioga Gardens 2 get a pilot? I think it's supposed to say, did Owego Gardens 2 get a pilot?
Oh, okay, so what's the change?
Plus we're having some flowers that night, maybe.
What is it? Okay. I can fix that.
Other than that, they look alright to me. Anybody else have any?
I motion we approve the minutes for the Monday, March 4th meeting with the
Correction.
one correction.
Okay. Can we do them both at once, or do we have to do them separate?
No, do them right then.
Okay.
Need a second?
I second it.
Alright, and a vote, Fran?
Yes.
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 Abstain.
Yes.
Yes. And yes. And then the March 12th, this is our special meeting for the mega. These ones look okay to me. I went through these because we didn't bring the tape recorder to that one, so.
Well, actually, I did. Mostly it was a movie. You had a movie.
It was more or less a movie, yeah, without the popcorn.
Yeah.
motion to accept the March 12th as submitted.
Yes. A second.
Second.
Okay. Well, then a vote, Fran,
Yes.
Charles,
Abstain.
Abstain.
Yes.
and yes. 7 votes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next item is the treasurer's report. Gone through this a lot, especially this one. Only question is, it still lists the sweep fund, did we cash that out yet?
We haven't received any money back from the street fund yet. No. It's still,
That's why it's still there, okay.
still there.
Thank you for putting it on one side of the page.
That was my, real question. Anybody else have any questions?
Motion to approve is submitted.
Do we have a
Second.
All right, and a vote, Fran,
Yes.
Charles,
Yes.
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 and yes. Next item is department head reports. Well, do you want to give anything for the fire department, since Dave's not here?
That's why I'm here.
Good.
I just didn't feel like sitting up there tonight. I will say, I don't support the resolution that was passed as the chief, for the chiefs. There's a little notice given to us, but we will not impede what you're doing at all. As you know, somebody turned us in somewhere, some way, somehow, had our ass handed to us by the state, which you know. You've had conversations with the gentleman himself.
Yep.
The one ambulance, I called in, contrary to popular belief, I called in a lot of favors. I had that ambulance taken right down to Williamsford. The next morning, they diagnosed the problem, didn't have time to work on it, sent it back, sits at Bill Lawrence's. The intercooler hose had a tear in it. Somebody was in there playing with it one time, took it apart, had a tear in it. That part's ordered, hopefully that'll be in tomorrow, that'll be running. They replaced they put a new injector control module into a used one out of another ambulance into it, and it worked. So if that's gonna be a successful transplant, they're gonna put another new one into it. Don't know what the bill's gonna be. We gotta have it running.
Right.
So that one will be done. I believe the glass is in the other rig.
Yes.
That goes to Royal to look at the ABS. Bill was gonna look at it, but since it's already got an appointment up there, send it away.
Yep.
I'm just disappointed that somebody turned us in, and we were surprised.
8-5, the brush truck,
4-2
yeah, is here for a tune-up.
It is?
tomorrow. Yeah, you're doing that. Plugs, wires.
Does my mechanic know that?
I don't know.
Find out in the morning.
That's what's coming.
He's gotta quit doing that.
I didn't do it. I'm just telling you.
I'm just saying.
I think, is it coming here or is it going to Royal?
Danny said it was coming here,
Which is fine, but.
which I think, I could look.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it.
Do we have a procedure so that the superintendent will be informed that these things are
Probably not.
going to happen?
They're supposed to fill out a service request and send it, but.
To me, he said 842 Village tomorrow for tune-up.
Yep.
So, send it down.
Yeah, 31 to Royal for the ABS.
Yeah.
That's it.
Rusty?
So it would seem that whether or not we're going to follow a procedure of filling out a form, et cetera, that someone would at least contact the superintendent to tell him that the plan is for the next day or whatever to do that.
I think he just went over his head to the mechanic and had a conversation.
Okay.
Which they could, I mean,
That
that's
complaint
fine, as
is-
long as my mechanic knows what's going on.
Somebody knows what's going on.
Something to be found.
But, I mean, the last couple of days, I come in one day, Monday, and there's a squad sitting out there. I asked my mechanic, what's going on? I don't know, nobody talked to me. So I asked my foreman, what's going on with it? I don't know, nobody talked to me. Then the next day, there's another squad sitting out there. What's with that thing? I don't know, nobody talked to me. So,
Throw a grenade in that one.
so,
That one goes to Weitzman's.
yeah.
Do you know what you're doing on the yellow one yet?
The one that's out here, we fixed an oil leak, replaced the radiator, and that's got an appointment for Royal because the ABS is on in that.
Done.
But we did take the hospital radio out of that and put it in the other one, so somebody will have to get another one.
We took a bunch of parts out of that one.
So,
That was a Friday project.
all we care about is that the lights, all the lights are out of it, so. So there's no engine lights or ABS lights.
That's right. Get it running. right?
Screwdriver through them, they'll never come. There you go.
Leave the bulbs out there. I don't think we can condone that though. All right, Tracy?
The only thing I would like to add to the activity report is last Friday, we attended the Chesapeake Bay Phase 3 Watershed Improvement Plan meeting. All the department employees and was with us. And it was very good news for us. They're saying that there will be no changes in our nitrogen or phosphorus limits. At the standards we're meeting right now, we're meeting everything that they're figuring on implementing in 2025. So it was more of an attaboy type meeting. There was ourselves, 3 other facilities there, and we're on track. They just said, keep doing what you're doing, and there were no changes, so that was very good.
Good.
And that's all I have.
Not yet. They should go to the chief.
Anything else?
No, that's all I have.
All right. Jeff?
The only additional things I have are, we had a meeting with Gorser and Dasney today about our new facility, and we finalized the floor plan of it.
Good.
So they're gonna get back to us with some changes that we asked them for. And we're moving along with that. The other thing is, for the last few years, there's been a town, they call it the Town of Owego Tire and Scrap Metal Cleanup. It's really been a joint thing with the village. It's always at the town, but the town's starting their facility project over there, so we're gonna have the collection over here this year.
Okay.
And the town will be sending out,
Is there a date for that?
yeah, May 18th. Saturday, May 18th.
Does it say where it is? Oh, right here, right here.
Right here, 20
20
Elm.
Elm Street. You got old tires rolling around, bring them over.
Right,
I took a bunch last year.
yeah. It's a good deal. They'll be sending this out to everybody, so. But I just want everybody to know, this is the only year that it'll be here. They're assuming by next year, their facility will be done. So,
Are they working with Dasney too? Should be 10 years at least.
but I'm just telling you what they told me. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Where are we with the Little Leagues? I don't know if I want to bring that up or not.
Little League, I'm assuming that I have given them every scrap of paper that they
No, I know,
wanted.
but did you see the emails today where it might be a long time before we get money?
I did not see that email, but it doesn't surprise me because the guy that guaranteed it to us is a Republican and they aren't in charge anymore.
I know, he's saying 6 to 12 months before we receive money.
So,
Which doesn't
but
really
no, I did
support their
not.
schedule of doing it in the spring.
problem is I still believe it's a reimbursement.
It is, yes.
So somebody got to come up with that money.
But they won't even reimburse us if we come up with the money right now for another 6 to 12 months.
I did not read that, but
They were
I'm sure I got it.
Yeah.
So,
So anyway,
other than that, I don't have anything. Unless you guys have something for me.
all right.
We will be sending the sweeper out on good days. Starting probably this week.
Just don't send it down East Temple.
I'm not sending anything down.
Sweep up.
There's a lot of trucks in the shop.
Oh,
Dust
well,
everywhere.
I can do it in the mayor's report or here, but I did prepare a letter for NYSEG and Suez about that project, requiring them to basically clean up everything they've messed up on Temple Street,
Going back
Page
together.
Street, and then East Temple Street. If anybody's been down there, it's like over 50% dug up. So the letter requires them to mill and pave that curb to curb, end to end. We'll see if they accept it. If they say anything about it, but we're gonna send it to them. Because then patching all of that road is not gonna, you know, long-term wise, it's not gonna work out very well. And I had a question about when we would possibly pave Green Street. Because when we were supposed to pave it, couldn't get the paver there.
Right. I'll have to get back to you with that.
Okay.
I planned on doing it in the spring, but I've got to check funds wise.
Right.
It's a nightmare at this point, but
I didn't want to give them
I'll
the
get back to
answer,
you
be the
by the
wrong.
next board meeting. Or at the next board meeting.
And then do we know why they marked out South Page?
No, I did not check into that, but if it's marked, they sent me a big safe New York, so I'll
Right.
see what's going on there.
You know who's doing what? I'm just wondering if it's NYSEG and Suez again.
What address, Mike?
The one-way section of Page.
I know, I think it was 64 Page Street possibly, was, or near something, they're doing a telephone pole replacement.
Okay.
They're doing about 10 of them around town.
Okay.
They called them in last week.
Okay. All right, so trustee reports, Fran?
Well, as you know, we spent all last week in meetings, but the cemetery committee meeting met last Monday, and there's a lot of things we are going to be working on for this year, and hopefully that grant will come through soon. One thing that do need to bring up at this meeting is they put together a new waiver. Since last year, we decided that you did not have to have a notary, that it could be done with a witness of the committee as far as work days.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd like to send that on over to Nate to look at and let us know what you think at next meeting. And yeah, the committee has tasked me with talking with Jeff on a number of issues, which I'll get to in the next few weeks. We want him to come to our meeting in April, which is the second Monday of the month.
Anything else?
As you know, the DRI we had our final meeting that was Wednesday.
Yes.
Spent almost 6 hours at that, and we're getting the votes finalized. They told us it'll be summer before we get any thing definite on what projects will be covered.
What they said. Charles?
We attended that mega meeting. That was very informative. I'm glad we was able to get that pushed through, get our residents some good savings. I was part of the conference call that was made to the situation with the EMS. And once again, I'd like to extend my thanks to those who are involved in resuscitating our ambulance and getting it back in service. That's right.
It's a good choice of words. Always count on Charles for that.
I was also involved in that conference call. And I'm grateful for all the people that did the due diligence in getting them, that particular ambulance up and running again. I know the village appreciates what you do for them and keeping them safe.
Absolutely.
And as Tracy had said, I went to Cortland, and it was nice to be part of something positive, and I was glad to see that the plan is doing what it's supposed to do. So, thank you, Tracy. That's it.
Rusty?
Several residents, not many residents, have spoken about parking, and I believe the village board ought to and probably shall have non-official board meeting. We'll have board meeting discussions, I believe, in the next little while. We should have discussions offline and with interested residents about the parking issues, and so I'm nothing official about that, but I believe we're going to be playing around with that.
Yep.
I would like to propose and set a public hearing for the rezoning of tax map number 128-16-1-8, which is across the river on Southside Drive.
Show and tell.
Show and tell. Across the river on Southside Drive. I will show this to the board. Excuse me, folks.
Don't trip on my cord.
It is. This is our sewer plant, this is the road in. It is this 8.55 acres of property. Mostly
It's between 434 and the highway.
between Southside Drive and the highway and the exit. Most of the folks already know this. And
I'm sure.
the public can have that if they want to take a glance at it. I propose that we change that zoning of that property from R3 to industrial.
At one point, it was industrial, and then it went to R3, then it came back.
It was R2, and about 4 years or so ago, I have the information here, it was changed to industrial by the village board, and around I'll say a short time later, it was decided to not have it be industrial, and at that time it was changed to R3. This currently R3, I believe that property has actually almost no value at all.
Doesn't affect anybody in the surrounding
And I
area.
believe that it is right next to our sewer receiving, and I believe that property should be zoned industrial.
Okay.
So, that's what I
So
would
I'd like to
like.
set a public hearing.
So what would we need here? A resolution on the village board?
Zoning board first?
We were under the impression it did not.
I mean, the next zoning board meeting is next week anyway, so insofar as it needs to get referred to it, if it does, that can happen before the next village board meeting.
It'll have,
We would need to send it off to 239 review for the county though, which is gonna be a real hang-up because the next county meeting is in April for us to make the deadline. So really, the public hearing shouldn't take place on this until the village board's meeting after the county's meeting in April, which means you're looking at, I think the county's meeting is the third Wednesday, which is the 17th.
Yes.
So then the village,
Wednesday?
third Wednesday? So the village board meets regularly April 1st, April 15th. The meeting after the county's meeting on the 17th will be May 6th.
May I ask Mr. Hartman a question?
Yes.
Earl, I think you were on the board when we did this last time.
When this
Did
one,
we 239 this, did we have to do all that last time?
yes, we did. You always have to, just each time you make a change. This was moved to industrial for pretty much the same thing you're talking about now on this board.
because it opens up a wide range of possibilities. The neighbors in the area did come in a pretty tight little coalition and opposed it. And then at the time, at the recommendation of the zoning board, we made it an R3, which gave it some flexibility over an R2, but at the same time did not give it the full freedom that industrial would. At the time, if you look at your records, I wanted it to stay industrial because it opened up a wide range of possibilities for the property. So,
Thank you. So,
It does require village planning board advice.
correct.
village planning board or village zoning board?
Planning board. The zoning adjudicates.
So once we, if we take it to the planning board for their advice, then we follow through on that procedure.
Yeah, I mean, if the board tonight agrees to consider the enactment of a local law rezoning this parcel, then you can schedule a public hearing, I'd say for May 6th, and then Jeff will ask, for all the paperwork for the 239 application and make sure the planning board has the packet. The planning board probably shouldn't meet to give advice on it until after the county's considered it. So the planning board's meeting in the end of April will review the rezoning.
Right.
So, put me up to speed one more time. The county's board meeting is when?
Third Wednesday of the month, so I think it's April 17th.
April 17th. Our planning board meeting is when?
Last Tuesday.
So if we move forward on this, we possibly can have these various things done. We can have the county, then our planning board, and tonight's, based on those things happening in a particular way, scheduled public hearing for
May 6th.
first meeting.
One question on May 6th. There is a conference of mayors conference that,
Oh, yeah, there is.
if you guys are gonna go, then we'll have to move the May 6th meetings to maybe like a Wednesday, which,
Or the week before, the week after.
just can't do the week